Okay guys, I am going to start with the tutorial on how to use Language Reactor and get it set up with Netflix so you can really milk from the subtitles and from the script of this show, of whatever show you're watching, in fact, as long as it has Japanese subtitles or whatever target language subtitles that you're looking for, how you can milk that for all that it's worth, get so much more out of it than if you didn't use something like this. So first thing you want to do is you want to either Google Language Reactor or you want to just simply go here, languagereactor.com, pretty straightforward. This also, for the record, used to be called Language Learning with Netflix, and they expanded. Now it accommodates Netflix, YouTube, Turtle TV, and books and stuff, so all sorts of good stuff here. And here's what we'll want to do. Firefox isn't, there's not an extension, a version of the extension available for Firefox or Edge yet, but so hopefully you're using Chrome. If you're not using Chrome, consider using Chrome. Consider downloading Chrome, even if it's only for this purpose. But it'll definitely be worth it if you don't already have it. And click there, and it'll say install for Chrome. Of course, I already have it, so I'm not going to remove it. But this is where it would say install. So once it's done installing, kind of look like it's downloading or something, then what you'll want to do is you want to go over here. If you can see in my browser window, there's a little puzzle piece here in Chrome for extensions. You want to click on that, and you want to go down to Manage Extensions. All right, I've got a bunch of different ones here. The one that we care about is right here. If it's not already on, and it looks like this, under Language Reactor here, you want to make sure that that's on. All right, so once it's on and you're sure that you've got it and you are good there, we can exit out of that, we can exit out of that, and we can go straight to Netflix. So I am on Netflix right now. I've entered the show, whatever episode you're on. You will not be able to see what I'm watching because Netflix is going to be blocking any recording of the material. I also am going to keep this audio off. But let me show you how you're going to want to get started. What you'll notice when you go in is you'll notice this new little button down here, the Language Reactor turn on off button. Before we even get to that, what I'm going to want to do is go over here. And as you can see, if I hover over that box, this is what controls the audio and the subtitles. Now, we're lucky that it even has Japanese audio. This is sometimes not the case for especially like younger shows like Pokemon. It's ridiculous. If you wanted to watch Pokemon with this, then there's a select number of shows, mostly movies I think, and on very little else that actually has the Japanese audio with them. It's all been like uber Englished. So we're with Japanese audio already, and if it were a different program and you came here and there was no Japanese audio, well, you'd be out of luck. You'd want to find a different program, if possible, that you could enjoy and learn Japanese from, whatever your target language is, for that matter. But the subtitles also need to be on, and they need to be on in the language I'm trying to learn. So in this case, Japanese. This will make intuitive sense in a moment. If you're thinking, well, I can't read Japanese, hold on. Now we're going to go down here to Language Reactor, and we're going to turn it on. It's going to possibly refresh, and I'm going to stop it for a second. Now both my subtitles should be on, and this should be on. It's not on yet. Let me make sure it's on. There we go. Now it's on. You'll notice there's kind of two modes to this too. There's a black box at the bottom, and if I keep playing it, we'll get some dialogue here. There we go. Now the subtitles that would appear up here are now down below on this nice black screen. I can read it really easily and follow along with it. And this is where it's really great. I can see the kanji if I have it set up that way. It says hideko, but then it says right after it shuko, so that's helping me. Now that's what it says in actuality. You'll notice that sometimes the romaji above here is not quite spot on, and that's okay. It's going to be just a hit or miss, like garasu is not a thing. But anyway. Let's continue on. Let's get maybe a more interesting thing. Notice too, if I turn it on and I play, this is a really important feature, the automatic pause playback. This is one of the most excellent parts. you can of course manually hit the space bar and get this thing to pause and such whenever you want. But this is way more efficient because it holds you accountable to stopping at the end of each line and repeating back, or at least taking the time to read the actual subtitle that you just heard in Japanese. Super important. Not just knowing what they said based on the translation, but actually knowing what they said in the language you're learning. So for now, I'll turn it off just so that we can see a little bit more as it goes along, but you don't have to turn it on and off each time like I just did. Rather, you can turn it on and leave it on, and then it'll do this after each one. So maybe I'll go to the next line. Komi's being cute, and she's not going to talk, so of course, where's the dialogue? Okay, we'll back up 10 seconds. Oh, there we go. All right, and then it's just going to, without any assistance from me, automatically pause. Notice there's therefore going to be a disjunct here. It's not going to translate what is up here in writing. That is kind of an unfortunate effect of this. If you need to know what she said, because obviously we're only getting what Shuko, her mom, says. If you're needing to know what she says, and oh, I just remembered, you can't see what it says. On screen, it's all in writing what Komi is thinking. So if you see stuff on screen and the English subtitles aren't on, it's just going to assume you're Japanese and you can read this on screen. Well, what if we can't? So what we'll have to do then is switch to English for a quick moment, back up to where that started, and let's get started again. And then it'll give me, this is the English to what is being set up above, only now you get like double English. So worst case scenario, if you've got Japanese on screen and it's not translating it for you down here in the subtitles, back up 10 seconds, turn on English subtitles, grab that, and then I recommend going back and turning on the Japanese subtitles. We'll get started again. All right, now if I turn off the AP, the automatic pause, it'll just continue playing as normal, and it'll rely on me to stop and start it with the space bar. Let's see, let's get to where there are like more people here so we actually get something to talk about. All right, there we go. See how it's not stopping anymore. Now I'll put it back on, it'll start stopping again. Okay, so super, super useful. Now, a couple of other, we're just basically covering the tip of the iceberg here because there's a bunch of other stuff. First of all, though, let me just say, like, aesthetically, if you don't like this down here and you would rather it was part of the screen as it usually is in subtitle form, bam. Hit this little caret that's down here, open, close, bottom panel, and look at that. You can get it right on screen. I like this form sometimes. This is nice if I want a bigger picture and I'm admiring the animation and all that stuff. But if I'm really engaged in language study, I'm usually paying less attention to the animation and everything else and more focused on the language. And I want to be able to read this thing really easily. No white backgrounds getting in the way of me seeing a character and all that stuff. So I like this. But here's the next, possibly the most interesting, coolest feature of this all. See these triple bars up here. Now when you first turn this on, this may already be open for you. Chances are it will be. You can close this just by hitting the X, and then it'll just turn into those triple bars. But let's open that up again for a second. Here are all the subtitles to the entire show. Here's what I'm going to do with it. I'm going to hit this export button. And I could do it a number of different ways. Let's just say for now, I just really want to be able to read through this whenever I want. Look at phrases and stuff I maybe missed. Print it out, maybe highlight it, etc., etc. I don't need any of this on. Timestamps are nice, especially if you are going to send in certain scenes with certain lines. This could be the best part is not having to copy it down by hand what the timestamp was or having to go back and find it. So go on and include the timestamps. Let's include the translation. Let's hit export. And boom, look at this. The entire show is right here in its script form. So when you send things in, you could go even just simply, let's say I wanted to know what they mean by ryui subeki, or ryui subeki wa is what that should say. So maybe I'm confused. Maybe my confusion is I see ha, and I see maybe even know the hiragana that's ha, but I feel like that I don't know what that ha is, or I feel like, wait a minute, shouldn't this be a wa? Why isn't it a wa? Maybe this is what I send in. So you can copy and paste this whole thing. Just copy and paste all of this into your form. That's it. It's super cool, isn't it? Something further down here. Just copy and paste anything. Well, not all of that, but this part. Copy and paste right into the form. Super great. And again, turns out to be really useful for you to go back through and reread this at some point and find specific phrasings. And oh, I remember Komi at some point said, I was sorry. No, she didn't. Let's see. I don't know. I don't remember who. I don't remember who Sonoda is, but we'll let that one go for now. Okay, what is this feeling? I remember somebody, I guess Chiarai said that. What is this feeling? So maybe I come back here and I can actually look up what they said. Nani kono kimochi? Pretty cool. Super cool. So this is one of the best parts, and you can then just print it. I like to save it as PDF and come back and see it then, and save. You can actually save it on your computer, reread it. Use these also for your flashcards. I'm going to say more about that in the Anki setup. But also when you create flashcards, use whole sentences. Try using whole sentences instead of words. You can do words too, but phrases are really, really useful. All right, more on that in the Anki setup. Hopefully this gets you started though. You are welcome to, of course, you can save words and stuff. However, they do ask for like a $5 per month fee if you start doing that. It's the pro version. I've not done that. I've been meaning, I do want to donate something to them because this has just been such an extensively used tool by me, but you don't have to do that. Real quick other thing I totally skipped over was if you get to a word, like nara, what does nara mean? Oh, it's if. I can usually just hover over it, but you can do better than this. If you click on that word, you'll get the translation as it is. So notice that it is or if is nowhere down here in my English translation, but I can see what that individually means. So it could be, well, it says da. That should just be nara, but anyway. Yeah, it would be like if, or there it is, if. So I can hear it again.
Nara.
Nara. I just realized you can't hear it. Oh, yeah, you can. This is recording audio. Let's see. And better yet, best part, really, really cool part, other places where that word shows up. Often in the episode, and then these are ones in this episode, or possibly in other episodes, I think, but in this episode specifically, and then examples elsewhere out there in other shows. You can get a really decent sense of what Nara is doing, except Nara is not what they're focusing on. Let's see. Yeah, here it is. Nara, da. So they're equating Nara with da in this case. Maybe let's try a different one. Let's do, probably get the point by now. Ooh, kigen. How about kigen? It told me mood, propitiatory. How do we say that? Propitiatory. There it is, propitiatory. Wow, long time since I've seen that one. Todi, don't know what that means, doesn't matter. I get the gist of this. Mood, humor, temper, temperament, lots of different uses. If I want to use this correctly, I'm going to have to memorize some phrases, right? So this is where how it showed up in the show as, hey, cheer up already, okay? Ne, kigen naoshite yo ne. But in other places, I might say, kore wa this is supposed to be ima, sorry. Kore wa ima kigen ga warui. He has a bad temper right now. And so on and so forth. Lots of different phrases. You'll have to do your due diligence. It's hard. In fact, these are the sort of things that are worth turning in. This is going to be ima, not kon. And this is wa, not ha. So not everything's going to be 100% right, but most of this stuff is going to be pretty accurate. So take it with a grain of salt, but at the same time, use it, milk it for all that it's worth. Okay? I'll see you in the next setup. Stop.